Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I bring before you the chapter called the Summit Within. This chapter belongs to the book an NCRT English book which is called Honeydew. So let's get started. Here on the first page we have mentioned the identification of data and the general objectives. So for the identification of data, here we have to mention the name of the school where you are teaching in, and the name of the subject, lesson, class, total number of students, textbook name, duration of the class, and your own name. So that makes up for the identification of data. And next we have the general objectives. So here I have mentioned 6 of them, but even 5 is better for you. Usually it actually depends on the format that you have. Most teachers provide and they need you to write at least 5. So here I have mentioned 6 and you can easily copy them down. Next we have the teaching aids, and there are 2 types of teaching aids that you have to mention here. So the first one is general teaching aids, and here I have mentioned blackboard, chalk, duster, pointer, and textbook. The second one is specific teaching aids, and I have mentioned here writing that a chart showing the main parts of the lesson. So this is what you have to write for the teaching aid section. And next comes the introduction. So this is the part where you actually try to give hints to your students about what this lesson is, and you have to get the name of the lesson from the students. And how will you do that? By asking them the right questions. So here I have mentioned 6 or 5 questions total, and you can use them exactly like you see here. These will be very helpful for you to ask your students and write them on your lesson plan. These are question number 4, 5, and 6, and yeah, so you can see at the end they have mentioned the word summit. This word should come from your students, so after that you can begin with your next section. So next comes the announcement of the topic. This is the part where you as a teacher have to announce that you're going to begin with this chapter by telling the students the chapter name. And after you're done with that part, you have to go next to the presentation section. So here I have made 6 columns. First is step, then teaching point, specific objectives, teacher's activity, pupils activity, and learning outcomes. So here the first question I have mentioned, it's not a question but it's a point. So the first point is about the author, and I have filled up the rest of the columns with what actually you have to fill, and you can write them down from here. On this page I mentioned model reading, loud reading, silent reading, and word meaning. So as a teacher in English, it's very necessary that you have to make your students read out loud, or maybe even read silently, and help them with the word meaning so that it will help them with their vocabulary. On this page I have included the word meanings, and these word meanings you can also find in the textbook itself. Next comes the explanation part. This is the part where you start explaining the chapter to your students. So I have started here first with the theme of the chapter, and you can also write it down on your lesson plan. And now comes the questioning part. So here you have to be asking your students some questions to make sure they understood the lesson that you just explained. So on this page I have given 3 questions, and a few more questions are there on the next page, so you can write them down from here. Here are another 2 questions, so total 5 questions. And lastly comes the closure part. This is the end of the whole plan. Here you have to be making a conclusion to the entire lesson plan. So we just begin by writing a bit about the the section which is the closure, and then we add 1 or 2 questions for the students. I have given the questions here and the answers alongside the questions, so you can easily write them down. Here, this is the last page of my plan, and here I have included a homework. This step is very important so that you can give your students a question and expect them to be coming up with an answer for that, and through that you can understand if your students have answered your explanation properly. So with this, it comes to the end of the lesson plan for one particular chapter. And if you found this video helpful, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and also share with your friends who must be pursuing VIII. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.